Lights flare across the screen as whispers spread. Kirk isn't just stepping out. He's sneaking into Karlie Redd's house under cover of darkness. And Rashida's loyal squad is unleashing a furious response. Fans are shocked to hear that. Late-night rendezvous rumors have ignited a firestorm on social media. Could Kirk really be betraying his rumored commitment? Or is this just another cleverly staged stunt? Emotions ran high when an eyewitness claim surfaced. A black SUV slipping into Karlie's gated driveway at 2 a.m., headlights cutting through the night. Immediately, Rashida's team clapped back, blasting anyone who dared question her loyalty and integrity. The family was left divided as speculation spiraled. Some say Rashida was blindsided. Others insist she had a hunch all along. As tension mounts, insiders hint at secret late-night text messages, frantic phone calls, and a confrontation that rocked an entire mansion. Will Kirk own up to his actions, or will Karlie publicly deny any late-night meeting? And where does Rashida stand? Now caught between friendship, fame, and fierce pride. Stay tuned, because this drama is just beginning, and in the next moments, the truth will unravel in ways you never saw coming. Kirk's car rolled to a silent stop at the gated driveway. And in that quiet moment, the night seemed to hold its breath. The engine's hum faded, leaving only the distant chirp of crickets and the soft rustle of palm leaves. A single street lamp overhead cast a feeble glow, illuminating Kirk's silhouette as he pressed a trembling hand against the wheel. His heart pounded like a war drum each beat, a warning that this midnight visit could change everything. Through the tinted window, he spotted Karlie Redd's mansion looming ahead, its tall hedges like silent sentinels guarding secrets within. Kirk hesitated, his mind racing. Is this really happening? Fans are shocked at the mere thought of him here. He took a deep breath, palms slick with sweat, and whispered under his breath, "This is it." Inside the house, Karlie lounged on a plush velvet sofa, the firelight flickering across her face. She wore a simple silk robe, dark as the night itself, eyes glinting with unreadable emotion. She stared at the door, listening for the slightest creak. Moments later, the doorknob turned and Kirk stepped inside. Emotions ran high as he closed the distance between them. The cool marble floor beneath his footsteps echoing like a countdown to destiny. "You actually came, Karlie's?" Voice trembled, part relief, part accusation. Kirk's chest tightened. "I had to," he murmured, voice rough. "I can't ignore what's between us." He reached out, but hesitated, as if fearing that one wrong move could shatter everything. She folded her arms, a guarded smile playing. On her lips, words at 2 a.m. don't erase months of silence. Meanwhile, back on social media, Rashida's team had erupted in a frenzy. Their group chat buzzed with urgent messages. "Did you see the reports? This could tarnish everything Rashida's built." Screenshot it. Whispers of Kirk's late-night plans were already flooding Twitter feeds. Rashida's loyalists launched an all-out defense, flooding hashtags with denials and counterattacks. "This is a baseless rumor," one post read. "Stop spreading lies about our queen." Fans are shocked at the digital warfare unfolding. Some rallied to protect Kirk's reputation, others prepare to side with Rashida's fury. Inside the mansion, the tension crackled like electricity. Karlie stood and moved toward Kirk, her robe trailing behind her like a storm cloud. "You promised loyalty," she said, eyes flashing. "So why am I finding you here, sneaking in like a ghost?" Kirk swallowed hard. "I promised loyalty," he replied quietly. "But I needed to see you. I needed to hear your voice." He shook his head as if to clear thoughts that threatened to drown him. "People are talking. My name's on every gossip page." He paused, gaze fixed on hers. "And none of it makes sense unless I face it." The hush in the room was broken by the soft hum of Kirk's phone. He glanced down to see Rashida's name flashing on the screen. "It's her," he whispered. dread tightening his throat. Karlie's expression darkened. "Answer it," she urged, though her voice held an edge of steel. Kirk tapped the screen, fingers trembling. "Hello?" A frustrated sigh came through. "Where are you right now?" Rashida demanded. Kirk glanced at Karlie before answering. "I'm at Karlie's place." In that instant, the walls seemed to close in. Karlie's eyes narrowed. "You told her you'd be working late." Kirk's shoulders slumped. "I know, but I had to talk to you." Rashida's voice wavered between resignation and anger. "You can't keep secrets from me." Kirk stared at the phone, torn. I didn't plan this, I swear." Karlie stepped closer, voice low. "Your excuses won't fix this." The family was left divided. Karlie's hurt, Rashida's betrayal, and Kirk caught in the crossfire outside the mansion gates. Paparazzi, cloaked in darkness, snapped photos of Kirk's car, the flashes illuminating his license plate like revealing clues. The next morning's tabloids would splatter his name in bold headlines. Rashida's team seized on every detail: Kirk's tinted windows, the late hour, the glowing entrance lights. They drafted press releases, statements dripping with scorn. "We are aware of these allegations and find them utterly false and defamatory." Fans watched, waiting for the next move. Inside, Karlie rounded on Kirk. "Do you even care?" Tears welled in her eyes. Kirk gently wiped them away, voice thick. "I've never cared more." She pulled back, scanning his face, as if searching for a lie. He held her gaze, unwavering. "Trust me," he said, though his own conviction wavered. "I came here because you matter." Karlie inhaled sharply, lowering her voice. "Then prove it." She turned and drifted toward the grand piano in the corner. Kirk followed, each step weighted with hope and fear. As he reached the piano, Karlie's fingers traced the ivory keys, but no melody emerged. Instead, she let her hand drop, shoulders slumping. "Sometimes love isn't enough to drown out the noise," she murmured. Kirk closed the gap between them, voice urgent. "We'll drown out the noise together." She looked up, a flicker of defiance in her gaze. "We." She echoed, skepticism in every syllable. The air crackled as doubt and desire collided. Meanwhile, Rashida paced in her penthouse suite, surrounded by her inner circle. "I can't believe he'd do this," she said, voice raw. Her assistant passed her a tablet showing screenshots of Kirk's location check-in. "He's using Karlie to stir drama," the assistant speculated. Rashida shook her head, anger flaring. "Or maybe he's just lost." One team member shot back. "Or maybe you're the one being played." Rashida's jaw clenched. This was more than gossip. This was a direct strike at her heart and her public image. Back at the mansion, Kirk and Karlie navigated a minefield of emotions. He took her hand, offering a silent olive branch. "No more secrets," he promised. Karlie's eyes softened for a fraction of a second before closing in resignation. "I need proof," she whispered. Kirk nodded, determination settling in. "I'll give you proof." She raised an eyebrow. "In what form?" Hesitated, then swallowed. "The truth." She let out a humorless laugh. "The truth doesn't always set you free." Suddenly, the intercom buzzed. Kirk's heart leaped. Rashida's voice crackled through. "Kirk, you need to leave." Karlie tensed, eyes darting between Kirk and the speaker. Kirk pressed the intercom. "Rashida, I'm trying to explain." But the line went dead. The room plunged into silence, the ultimatum hanging like a guillotine blade. Emotions ran high as Kirk looked at Karlie, face pale. "She's serious," he said. Karlie nodded, though concern flickered across her features. "Then you decide, hers or mine." Outside, the night air pulsed with excitement as paparazzi. Helicopters hovered overhead, their blades cutting through the darkness. Inside, Kirk's next move would determine everything. Would he stand with Karlie in defiance of Rashida, or retreat to salvage his relationship with Rashida? The clock ticked toward dawn, and with each passing second, the stakes rose higher, where loyalties will be tested and truths will emerge from the shadows. The night air was electric, charged with anticipation as Kirk stood frozen in the grand foyer, torn between two worlds. Rashida's ultimatum echoed through the silent halls, a relentless reminder that every choice carried consequences. Karlie watched him, her robe slipping from her shoulder as anxiety twisted her features. "You're going to leave," she whispered, voice barely audible. Kirk's jaw clenched. He closed his eyes and drew in a ragged breath. He admitted. The weight of the moment pressed down on him, and for the first time the bravado he'd worn like armor began to crack outside the mansion gates. There, the distant thrum of helicopter blades signaled the paparazzi's unrelenting pursuit. Flashes of light danced across the manicured hedges, turning every leaf into an exposed witness. Fans are shocked to learn how far Kirk would go for this clandestine meeting. And social media was already ablaze with speculation. Trending topics split in two camps. Hashtag Team Kirk versus hashtag Team Rasheed. Meanwhile, Karlie's name was tattooed on every gossip site as that other woman, an unwanted label she resisted fiercely. Rumors spread that Rashida herself was en route to the mansion, her sleek black SUV slicing through traffic with driver's windows tinted dark. The family was left divided, pitting friendship against desire in a high-stakes showdown. Karlie closed the distance between them, her fingertips brushing Kirk's arm. "So what now?" asked tone, edged with both pain and determination. Kirk shook his head, running a hand through his disheveled hair. "I need to fix this," he said, voice raw. Tears welled in her eyes. "Fix what? You've already broken so much." Stepped back, crossing her arms. "And I'm tired of being the rebound when your world starts to crack." Kirk gasped, pain radiating through his chest. He hadn't expected her to hurt, to recoil so sharply. In that moment, he realized his misplaced loyalty had wounded her deeply. As Kirk struggled for words, the front door burst open and a hush fell. Rashida stood in the threshold, her eyes blazing like twin suns of fury and betrayal. She was flanked by two of her most trusted friends, their gazes hard as flint. The mansion's grand chandelier trembled overhead as though anticipating the collision of two powerful forces. Karlie's grip on Kirk's arm tightened. She halted him with a subtle motion. "Don't," she warned, voice steely. Rashida's lips curled into a bitter smile. "Apparently, you love surprises," she said, voice low, each syllable dripping with contempt. Kirk swallowed hard, heart stuttering. He had never seen Rashida like this, so vulnerable and enraged at once. "Why are you here, Rashida?" Karlie asked, chin lifted. Her challenge hung in the air. Rashida's gaze flicked to Kirk, then back to Karlie. "I came to see for myself what he's been hiding," she replied. Her eyes burned with tears unshed. "I trusted you, Kirk. Trusted us." Kirk's shoulders slumped. Guilt and sorrow warred in his expression. "I'm sorry," he whispered, voice cracking. "I never meant to hurt you." Rashida's friends circled them like predators closing in on prey. One stepped forward, phone raised to record every second. "Tell her the truth. Why did you sneak in here at 2 a.m.? Rashida demanded. Kirk's throat tightened. He glanced at Karlie, but she was silent, arms folded. A witness to his confession. "I came because I care," Kirk began, voice shaking. "This partnership, this friendship, means more to me than headlines or rumors. I needed to tell Karlie how I feel." Rashida's jaw dropped as if struck. Disbelief and raw betrayal flickered in her eyes. "How you feel?" she echoed. After months of silence, after denying calls for days. Tears spilled down her cheeks. "I thought we were a team." Karlie watched silently, the tension crackling between the three of them. In that charged moment, Kirk realized the enormity of his mistake. He had fractured not only Rashida's trust, but the delicate balance between friendship and romance. The hushed silence broke when Rashida's phone buzzed with a new text alert. She glanced down, brow furrowing as she read. "What now?" Kirk asked, voice hoarse. Rashida's lips pressed thin. Things have gone public," she said, tone dull. "Someone leaked our private chats to the tabloids." She swiped the screen to show Kirk and Karlie a viral post filled with screenshots of their WhatsApp conversations. Comments poured in. "Is this the end of Def Jam family? Betrayal at its finest?" Fans were shocked at the depth of the scandal. Private messages ripped open for the world to see. Rashida's heartbeat thundered as she scrolled. Raw vulnerability lay bare for everyone to judge. Karlie's expression softened as she watched Rashida's pain. She stepped forward, surprising both Kirk and Rashida. This isn't just about us," she said quietly, voice thick with empathy. "It's about the narrative they want to sell." She looked at Kirk. "You and Rashida, you share a history. I respect that. I respect that you care for me, Kirk. But I won't be the wedge in your lifelong friendship." Kirk blinked, emotion flickering across his features. Rashida stared at Karlie, shock giving way to grudging respect. The fragile alliance between them shifted in that instant. As they recognized a common enemy, the media's appetite for drama suddenly. The front gate's lock clicked and a security guard stepped in, urgency in his voice. "Ms. Redd, Ms. Brown, Mr. Hayes, you need to see this," he panted. He held up a smartphone displaying a live stream. Paparazzi cameras stationed outside were broadcasting the mansion's exterior, and in the background, a shadowy figure lurked beyond the hedges. Its silhouette resembled someone placing recording equipment near a window. Kirk felt a chill. Someone was orchestrating the scandal from the shadows, manipulating events for maximum ratings. Rashida's fist clenched. "They're watching our every move," she hissed. Karlie's jaw tightened in determination. "Then let's give them a show they won't forget, but on our terms." In that charged moment, alliances shifted and new bonds formed. Kirk reached for Rashida's hand, then paused, looking at. "Karlie, we can fight this together," he said, voice steadying. Rashida's tear-filled eyes met his, then softened. She glanced at Karlie, who nodded in silent solidarity. The three of them stood united against the invisible puppeteer pulling strings from afar. Emotions ran high as they realized the real enemy wasn't each other, was the sensational machine hungry for scandal. With renewed purpose, they plotted their next move, expose the mastermind, reclaim their narrative, and show fans the truth behind the headlines. As midnight edged toward dawn, the mansion thrummed with whispered strategies. Karlie reviewed security footage, Kirk drafted a public statement, and Rashida coordinated her team's next social media assault. Outside, paparazzi helicopters receded under the emerging light of daybreak. Together, they braced for the storm, knowing that the fiercest battles are fought not in whispers, but in the echo chamber of public opinion. Part 3 starts now, where secrets will be uncovered, allegiances tested, and the real story finally told. The tension in the mansion had reached a fever pitch. Karlie hovered over a laptop, rewinding and replaying security footage frame by frame. Kirk stood beside her, shoulders hunched, eyes flicking between the screen and his phone. Rashida sat on the edge of a velvet armchair, phone in hand, fingers scrolling through the relentless stream of social media attacks. They felt the weight of every whisper and every flashbulb outside. It was clear the real puppeteer was hidden, in the shadows, manipulating their every move. "Look at this," Karlie murmured, pausing the video. On the screen, a masked figure crept along the hedge line at 3:14 a.m., carrying what looked like a camcorder. Kirk leaned forward, heart thundering. "That's not paparazzi," he said softly. "They're professional." Rashida's brow furrowed. "Why would anyone set this up? Who benefits?" she asked. Kirk's mouth twisted into a grim line. "Someone wants to destroy our reputations for clicks, for drama." Fans are shocked at the idea that their heroes could be the target of a calculated smear campaign. As the room settled into heavy silence, Rashida spoke through clenched teeth. "We need to confront this head on. If we stay silent, rumors will bury us." Kirk nodded, though his voice wavered. "I'll reach out to my contacts, find out who leaked our chats." Karlie closed the laptop, determination shining in her eyes. "And I'll contact a reporter I trust. We'll give them our side before the tabloids spin their lies." There was no more division. Fade. They had united under one goal to reclaim their narrative. A sudden buzz broke the moment. Kirk's phone displayed an unknown number. He hesitated, but answered anyway. "Hello?" came a distorted voice. "You should have stayed in the dark." Kirk's blood ran cold. "Who is this?" he demanded. The voice chuckled low and sinister. "You're about to find out. Watch your back." The line went dead. In that instant, the threat became chillingly real. Rashee rose and paced the marble floor. "We can't let this person win," she said, voice echoing. Kirk exhaled heavily. "We have the footage, but we need identity." Karlie tapped her temple. "Facial recognition won't work with that mask. But we can check patterns, timestamps, dates." She squared her shoulders. "We'll cross-reference the footage with social media check-ins near the mansion." Rashida's eyes gleamed with renewed purpose. "We're going to catch them, expose them." Across town, an underground content farm had already churned. Out fake headlines, Kirk's midnight betrayal exposed. Rashida left sobbing over secret affair. Karlie, the other woman, confirmed. The flood of sensationalized articles made Kirk's phone vibrate nonstop. He silenced the notifications. With a frustrated sigh, "They're everywhere," he said. Karlie reached for his hand. "We need a public statement. Video, raw, unfiltered. Show them the real us." Rashida agreed. "Record it at dawn, send it to all platforms simultaneously." Their plan was risky, but necessary. Transparency. Over tabloid fiction. As the hours ticked toward dawn, the three gathered in Karlie's recording studio. Soft lights cast long shadows on the walls. Kirk stood before the camera, Rashida beside him, Karlie framing them. "To our fans," Kirk began, voice steady but emotional. "You've seen the headlines, the rumors. You've watched us under the microscope." He paused, glancing at Rashida and Karlie. "We're here to tell you the truth. We've been targeted by someone seeking drama at our expense. We did not betray each other." Rashida stepped forward. "My heart was broken, but it wasn't by Kirk. It was by lies crafted for clicks. Voices united," they concluded. "We stand together against these fabricated stories." After pressing stop, they huddled to review the footage. Karlie frowned. "It feels genuine, but will people believe it?" Kirk shook his head. "I don't know. We need leverage, something undeniable." Rashida's phone buzzed again. An Instagram direct. Message from an anonymous. Account popped up. "I have info on the mastermind. Meet me at midnight, Fountain Park." Kirk looked at Rashida, alarm in his eyes. "It could be a trap." Rashida squared her chin. "Or it could be our only lead." Karlie exhaled. "Then we go together." Under the ghostly glow of street lamps, the trio approached the fountain in an otherwise empty park. The gurgle of water echoed in the chilly air. Kirk shivered in his jacket. Rashida scanned the shadows. Karlie gripped her phone, ready to record everything. "Where are they?" Kirk whispered. A tall figure slipped from behind a column, their face obscured by a hoodie. "You wanted answers?" the stranger said, voice low. "I've been watching." "Them too." Rashida's pulse quickened. Who's behind this?" The stranger reached into their pocket. In that hushed moment, the stranger produced a small flash drive. "This has everything. Chat logs, transaction records, surveillance, schedules." Kirk's heart leaped. "How did you get this?" The stranger shrugged. "Let's just say I owe you one." They held out the drive. Karlie stepped forward. "Thank you," she said softly. Before they could ask more, the stranger vanished into the night. Rashida looked at Kirk and Karlie, eyes shining. "We have our proof." Back at the mansion, they plugged the flash drive into Karlie's computer. Lines of chat transcripts scrolled across the screen, revealing messages between a tabloid editor and an unknown accomplice. Payment receipts? Footage, timestamps matching. The security video. The mastermind's identity was hidden, but their methods were laid bare. Kirk ran his fingers through his hair. "This changes everything." Karlie nodded, eyes fierce. "We release it all, unedited. Let the world see who tried to destroy us." Rashida raised her chin. "And then we move forward stronger, together." As dawn broke, the sky turned pale and the first rays of sunlight spilled over the mansion's gates. Fans would soon witness the truth raw footage, incriminating messages, and a united front from their favorite stars. Emotions ran high in the control room as they prepared to upload the files. The countdown began. 1 hour until justice. 1 hour until the world saw who really controlled this narrative. The first shaft of sunlight slipped through the tall windows, casting long shadows across the mahogany conference table where Kirk, Rashida, and Karlie sat in tense silence. The flash drive lay open before them like a detonator, its contents ready to blow the lid off the smear campaign. Kirk watched the progress bar inch forward on the private server upload, each percentage point a heartbeat echoing in his chest. Rashida's jaw was set, her eyes never wavering from the screen. Karlie reached out, placing a reassuring hand on each of their shoulders. "We've come too far to back down now," she whispered, voice steady despite the knot of anxiety in her stomach. Outside, the mansion gates creaked open as photographers, news vans, and paparazzi cameras converged like vultures sensing fresh prey. The media circus they had feared was now their platform, a stage they would commandeer to tell their own story. As Kirk hit the final upload button, a collective exhale filled the room. The screen flickered, then displayed, "Files live." Within moments, notifications erupted across their phones. Fans are shocked at the sheer volume of evidence, now public, and social media feeds flooded with reactions. Relief mixed with outrage as supporters rallied under hashtags like #JusticeForR, SHEEDA, and #TruthPrevails. A digital army ready to defend them. In a sleek downtown studio, a trusted reporter prepared for the exclusive interview. Kirk, Rashida, and Karlie sat under soft lights, faces pale but resolute, dressed in simple outfits that spoke of authenticity rather than glamour. The reporter's opening question cut through the silence. "You've released these documents. What do you hope to achieve?" Leaned forward, voice calm but charged. "We want people to see how easily narratives can be manipulated, how whispers turn into roars when someone stands to gain." Rashida nodded, eyes flickering with emotion. "I was heartbroken, not because of Kirk or Karlie, but because someone weaponized our names for clicks." Karlie took a breath, lowering her gaze before meeting the camera's lens. "Strength isn't just about surviving scandal," she said softly. "It's about standing together when everything is laid bare." Her words resonated like a quiet revolution rippling through the live broadcast. Viewers watched, mesmerized, as the trio dismantled each false claim, presenting side-by-side comparisons of the raw footage and the doctored headlines. Industry insiders on social media praised their transparency, while rival tabloids scrambled to decide whether to cover the retraction or risk looking foolish by remaining silent. Back at the mansion, the three watched the live feed on a large screen. Kirk cracked a small smile when he saw a wave of supportive comments rolling in. Rashida sipped her coffee, relief softening the tension lines on her face. Karlie leaned back in her chair, arms folded, exuding calm confidence. Yet as they relaxed, a sharp buzz erupted from Kirk's phone. An anonymous account had begun circulating falsified versions of their files, inserting fabricated messages designed to discredit the original evidence. "They're not done," Kirk muttered, tension creeping back into his voice. Karlie's eyes narrowed. Let's counteract immediately. Rashida sprang into action, dictating orders to her team. Release a timeline graphic showing upload timestamps, cryptographic hashes, and a step-by-step verification guide. Within minutes, the true files were reposted with verification codes. And fans leaped to their defense, flagging the fake documents and demanding authenticity. The social media tide turned again, drowning out the smear attempts with an even louder chorus of support and reposts of the original proof. As midday approached, an unexpected message landed in Rashida's inbox. A high-ranking editor from one of the tabloids that had peddled the scandal requested a private meeting. He expressed regret for sensational headlines and offered a full retraction. Kirk, Rashida, and Karlie huddled to decide. They weighed the offer, carefully accepting. Could signal forgiveness and allow healing, but might look like capitulation. After a tense discussion, they agreed on one condition. The tabloid must publish their apology verbatim, without commentary or spin. The next morning's front pages bore a bold retraction banner above the fold, accompanied by the trio's unedited statement. We apologize for any harm caused by our rush to sensationalize. These events have taught us the power of truth and the danger of unchecked rumors. Readers reacted with surprise and admiration. Mainstream media shifted focus, praising the unprecedented joint statement and analyzing how Kirk, Rashida, and Karlie had turned crisis into a masterclass in reputation management. Industry analysts speculated on how this move might reshape celebrity media relations. With the public narrative finally reclaimed, the three returned to the mansion's balcony. Gazing out over the cityscape sparkling in the midday sun, Rashida sighed, the tension draining from her shoulders. I think we're okay, she admitted, a small smile playing at her lips. Kirk slipped an arm around her waist, his expression softening. Stronger than ever, he said, eyes on Karlie. She leaned in, linking arms with them both. We wrote the last chapter, she murmured. Now let's live the next one on our own terms. But as they toasted to victory with glasses of sparkling water, Kirk's phone chimed once more. He frowned and showed them the message, a single line in ominous black text on a white background. This is far from over. Remember who's really pulling the strings? The trio's smiles faltered, the echoes of triumph tinged with unease. They exchanged knowing glances. The storm they had weathered was only the opening act of a larger drama inside. They regrouped in the study, the flash drive now stored safely away. We need to stay vigilant, Rashida said, voice firm. They'll try again, Kirk nodded, determination replacing apprehension. We'll document everything, anticipate their next move. Karlie tapped her phone, pulling up a new list of security firms and legal counsel contacts. And we stay united. No more secrets between us. Their pact felt solemn, yet empowering, a shield forged from transparency and trust. Meanwhile, the city buzzed with renewed interest in their story. Daytime talk shows, queued-up interviews, podcasts, dedicated episodes to unraveling the scandal. And fans organized charity live streams in their honor. The momentum swung in their favor. A groundswell of goodwill that threatened to engulf any future attacks. Yet the trio knew the undercurrent of danger remained. They had glimpsed the shadowy figure lurking behind the camera, heard the distorted voice threatening them, and felt the cold grip of manipulation firsthand as evening fell. They gathered one last time in Karlie's studio, where soft music filled the space. Kirk took Rashida's hand and then Karlie's, forming a circle of solidarity. We've learned how fragile trust can be, he said, voice clear. But we've also discovered how unbreakable loyalty can become when tested. Rashida squeezed his hand, tears glinting. We're ready, she said. Karlie smiled, eyes bright. Bring it on. The lights dimmed, leaving only a single spotlight on them. In that moment, they were more than celebrities. They were survivors, storytellers, and warriors against deceit. The city beyond the windows, glittered with possibilities, and they faced it together unbowed. As they stepped into the glow, their intertwined shadows stretched long across the floor, an unspoken promise that no darkness, however deep, could penetrate their unity. Emotions ran high, and the family was no longer divided. They stood as one, ready for whatever twist awaited in the next act of their ongoing saga. And so the dust has barely begun to settle on this whirlwind of secrets and betrayals, and you, dear viewer, are at the heart of it all. Did Kirk's midnight confession win back Rashida's trust? Will Karlie's unwavering strength forge an unbreakable alliance that survives every scandal? The questions hang in the air, electric and unresolved, begging for your take. As we brace for the next twist, we need you to join the conversation. What do you believe really happened behind those gates? Whose side are you on when the cameras stop rolling? Don't hold back. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Spark the debate and let your voice be heard. If you've been on the edge of your seat through every secret call, every leaked message, every tearful confrontation, make sure you don't miss a beat. Hit that like button to show your support and subscribe so you're first in line when the next bombshell explodes. Ring the bell and get notified the moment our next chapter goes live, because trust us, you won't want to blink. Until then, keep your eyes peeled and your theories wild, because in this game of fame and loyalty, anything can happen, and you'll want to be here when it does.